I think we all agree that
Yeah.
she doesn't come off as this evil serpentine woman,
Yeah, yeah.
but that's the way the film wants you to see her. Hello, everybody. It's Real Shade here again, and yeah, welcome. Thanks very much for joining us. It's a little bit of a change this week, but I hope you'll appreciate it. It's Sunday. Everybody's chilling out. I'm finished work. Everybody's taking a lazy day on the Sundays, and yeah, just want to thank you very much for joining us. So, if you don't know, my name is Jamie. I'm a resident shitty critic. There's Darren over there. There's resident hat wearer, Eminem impersonator, and then we have resident artist Derry in the top left-hand corner. So yeah, this week we're going to be discussing the 1975 classic, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. How did we get on? Did we enjoy it? I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Well, I enjoyed it because I've seen this film before, but to a different extent, I think. Maybe I've just grown up in heart. But Darren, just a quick synopsis. Give us a little bit of a rundown. It was your pick this week, effectively, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was my pick, yeah. But it's about like it's so weird. It's about a mental asylum. But how do I even give it without giving that away?
Well, give us a rundown of maybe why.
Jack Nicholson plays a guy called R.P. McMurphy who gets committed to this insane asylum. And there he meets some very strange and wonderful people, and just learns a lot about himself. Oh God, I don't know how to give you a rundown.
Well, let's start off with why did you pick it? Give us a few lines on why you picked it. Give us one line on why you picked it.
Because it's fucking awesome.
Yes.
Yes,
Derry.
No, it's just
Derry. Your first time seeing the movie.
You're going to drop me in it like that. You're going to.
I'm going to drop you in it. I'm excited to hear your thoughts on it. So what do you think? Give us a
do it
in one line.
Do it. One line.
I was really bored.
Oh, bored. Okay, well, you know what? I wasn't bored. But I think we all might have a little bit of a different opinion. So that's good.
He hates me.
I gotta have beer in front of me here now because that is just what. Okay, wait,
I'll drop a bottle down.
So said that.
So let's get stuck in. We'll go to the famous IMDb and we'll just read a little bit about it. We'll introduce some of the cast and some of the characters, and then you gotta stick around till the end to find out what we're watching next week. Again, just before we get into everything, we're going to be on YouTube on what day is it, Derry? All this week, pretty much. From Tuesday onwards. Tuesday. So if you miss out on something, we're going to be putting up the full video on Tuesday, and then we'll have shorter videos of kind of split sections of the overall podcast. So do feel free to tune in however you like, and subscribe. We're also on Instagram, so the lovely picture up at the top left will be on there during the week as well. So get around to liking that. So let's dive into it. You can begin, Derry. Okay. So what I found weird on IMDb is the cast list. It doesn't list Jack Nicholson at the start, but it lists Michael Berryman, the guy from The Hills Have Eyes.
Yes.
He's right up there. But let's read a little bit of a summary about it. So, a criminal pleads insanity and is admitted to a mental institute where he rebels against the oppressive nurse and rallies up the scared patients. What do we think of that? I think that's not really, it doesn't, like, I think IMDb fails again to really explain the movie in depth. I don't really think it's about that at all.
Yeah, like I don't know.
my daughter.
Again, another one that wouldn't make me want to watch it, you know?
It wouldn't make me want to watch it, IMDb. Make me want to watch these things. I think it's a little bit more of a psychological thriller-esque kind of a thing. 83% Metacritic score, so that's pretty good. We have Danny DeVito, I don't actually know the names of most of these actors, effectively. There's a lot of really good guys in it. The guy that plays Turkle at the end, that's Scatman Crothers. I imagine. He was in The Shining, which is another film I haven't seen before. Darren, it feels like you're holding me in your arms and you're taking me to bed.
I am. I gotta change venues. I gotta change venues.
Don't. Yeah. Just put your hand over my
me.
face and whisper sweet nothings into my ear.
I'll take you on a ride, buddy.
Oh, Jesus. Right in front of all these people?
It's not that kind of channel.
Not yet. Hey, the amount of times we've seen... How much bits and coins do those sexy ladies get on just chatting? Maybe we could emulate that. We'll make Derry's picture bigger, and we'll make our picture smaller, and the art one, we'll make that equally as big.
Right. Where are you going?
What? No, nowhere. I'm just suggesting. We exploit what we have.
My 2-year-old is upset she's going to bed, so she's not too happy. What was the question?
What was the question? She wants to stay up and see the podcast. So the question was, there's a lot of famous actors in this, but I can't, for the life of me, remember half of their names. Like, I remember what they're in. The Doc from Back to the Future. There's, Danny DeVito, of course.
Christopher Lloyd is, like, a lot of people...
Christopher Lloyd.
You not know any of you guys in this, no?
No, I do know. I know a lot of people. It's just, I don't know their names. I'm crappy with names.
I'll run down... Do you want me to run down the list, or do you want me to...
Yeah. Do a quick rundown of the list and give us something that that they've been in. Give us some of the top 5 hitters, Darren.
Top 5 hitters? Jeez, well, you have Louise Fletcher as Nurse Ratched. I think the biggest thing she probably ever did was Nurse Ratched because she won an Oscar for it. She's
another Oscar winner.
Yeah, well, like this, I'm saying, like, Jack Nicholson and Louise Fletcher are both Oscar winners, you know what I mean? Danny DeVito, obviously. You have one of my favourites in the movie is Will Sampson, who played the Chief. His full name in the movie is Chief Bromenden. Well, he's actually never called Bromenden, he's just called Chief in it. Who else do you have? You have Brad Dourif, who played... Brad Dourif, who played Billy Bibbit. What an actor.
Oh my God, that's the guy. He was in Deadwood. He's probably one of my favourite actors ever. He's fantastic.
He is... Like, this thing, like, when it goes on Broadway, it goes on stage all the time, but a lot of people want to play the R.P. McMurphy part. I would love to play the Billy Bibbit part. That's such an amazing fucking role.
I think you'd be great in that, actually. When I was watching that, because I think you would be able to hold yourself like that with the hair. Like, I think you'd be able to get that physique down so well.
I've always, no matter, like, since I watched the movie years ago, I always just loved that part. But anyway, we'll keep going. Christopher Lloyd is Tabor.
Yep.
And just as I said to you earlier, no matter how long he's on set for, no matter how long his scene is, you always remember him. Him and Harding killing each other.
I love Harding. He's so good.
Yeah,
Hard on.
But your man, Sidney Lasik, who plays Cheswick, is outstanding in this movie.
He is so good.
This is why I love this movie, because this to me, and I know I say about a lot of movies, but I really mean about this movie. This to me is probably some of the best acting I've ever seen in my fucking life. Ever.
What I like about it is it's far enough in the past where people were still ignorant about mental issues, and it's close enough to us now that it's slightly uncomfortable in places. And I like that. And you get, like, some of the biggest actors in the world at the time were in this. You were saying Jack Nicholson won a BAFTA for it.
He won a BAFTA for Chinatown while he was filming this.
Oh, that was it. Yeah, for Chinatown.
Yeah. Well, like, as I said, a lot of the actors in this, like, I think there's very few actors in this movie, like, that haven't won awards for something, because they're all, like, the whole cast in this is phenomenal. Like, your man who plays Turkle, obviously he was he was in The Shining as well. So you know what I mean? There's a lot of cast who have been together, who've worked before with each other, like, in other movies.
Christopher Lloyd and Danny DeVito had been in Taxi together.
Well, see, there you go. Like, this was to me, this is the director, the casting agent, that was like seeing like she saw potential when, like, apparently, like, and what makes me laugh is these guys weren't at the height of their career when they were doing this movie.
Yeah,
Like, they weren't.
exactly.
They were good actors. They were working consecutively. They were working like.
Well, Jack Nicholson, I think, was like the main star, but the rest of the supporting cast were TV actors, or they went on to be big film actors or been in feature films.
Yeah, but this movie played a lot because obviously, as I said to you earlier, people seeing how good, like, look at Danny DeVito, how young he was in this movie.
I know, right? It doesn't even look like him. It doesn't even look like him.
He was so fucking weird in this movie. I was like,
yeah, like with the eyes, I loved it.
And then when your man says, like, what do you say to him? Do you like looking at other people's cards? Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
And then, so you look at Dan DeVito now in Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Like, just amazing, just spectacular. Sorry, I'm rambling on here, Jim.
No. Yeah, no, perfect context for the actors and everything. I think you explained it really well, just in terms of the breadth of the cast. A lot of fantastic actors, even people that really, and there's a lot of this. There's a background characters that say fuck all or have one lines that are like amazing. They do. Like they fill the atmosphere.
Do you know what his name is? I think I have him here. Oh, jeez. Well, Scanlon. Scanlon only has one or two lines, but he's great now. He's the guy with the long hair and the big beard.
He's one of my favorites.
Yeah, but also, like, it says here, when I'm looking at something here, it says Kirk Douglas was in it.
He was the producer. He produced it.
Oh, that's okay.
Ha! I out-researched you, research man.
But Michael Douglas had the rights and sold them to Kirk Douglas, who wanted to be in the movie, but he was too. Michael Douglas wanted to be in the movie, but he was too old.
Shut up and get back to drawing. There's nobody talking to you up there in the corner.
Who research too?
Damn it! I'll turn off all your cameras. So let's get stuck into the movie. So this time around, we're doing something a little bit different as well. We're going to be chopping and changing everything. We're always taking suggestions and feedback. So I think this is a good place to start. So this time we'll be going through scenes of the movies. Feel free to stop us if you find a good one. Make a clip. Who knows? So we'll get stuck in. The start of the movie, very boring. So these are one of these movies that I have seen long enough ago that I remember very little about it, but enough that it kind of still reminds me of, I know the main plot points. But the start, I completely forgot, and now I remember why I forgot it, because it was shit boring. There's a car, and that's about it. So there's a car that drives for a bit. Darren, can you give me some context to this car?
No, I don't know. I wouldn't. I thought it looked beautiful, like a painting. I thought it was lovely. I thought the start of it was really cool.
Yeah.
I thought it showed basically what it needed to show. I didn't think it was trying to hide that, because it shows just. But then again, it's a bit misleading, because obviously you see the mental institution and you think all these guys are committed. You think it's a real mental institution.
Well, that's the thing about it. I think it starts off really, not very interesting at all, to be honest with you. Like, there's no context given. The car is there, obviously. I understand, in the next few scenes that Jack Nicholson is in the car. But is there even any music? I think I forgot. There is no credit roll. Sorry, there is a credit roll. Very crappy one.
There's no music on it at all. It's there's like I don't think there's music, because I couldn't hear any, like, unless it was really, really, really low. But then
there's just throughout the whole movie, or just at the beginning.
You know what? The funny
beginning.
The funny thing about the music that's in this movie is there's very, very, very little, and where there is music, it's like I'm not gonna replicate it because it could be a little racist, but the Native American music, they go overboard on that at the end. They imply that he's like, he did a good thing, hi-yo, and then it's like killing it. Anyway, but so we get a nice little segue into, I think, Nurse Ratched. Actually, Billy is probably one of the big main characters in this, and so is Nurse Ratched. Is it Nurse Ratched or Nurse Ratched?
Nurse Ratched with a D.
Ratched.
I would give her the D.
Jesus.
So Nurse Ratched. you're kind of introduced, and it's like she's getting ready for the day. You know, kind of just a small introduction into her. It's a.
As soon as you see her, you know she's like the head. You know she's the boss lady because of how the other guys act around her.
Boss bitch.
Well, I have a picture up at the minute. I get the guy that's like, I'm tired. That guy, and that's your first introduction into the whole kind of mental institute. Effectively, are we allowed to call it a mental institute? What is it called now?
Would you prefer to call it a nut house? I think mental institute is okay.
Mental rehab. How about that?
I think mental institute is okay. It's an institute. It's a building.
It's for people that are, So
I think insane asylum or nut house is probably worse. I think you're safe.
Insane asylum. That sounds cool though.
Well, Jack Nicholson calls it a lot of fucking things this movie.
But that's what I'm saying. We're going to get around to a lot of controversial topics. So our introduction into the mental institute is pretty horrific. I love the way everybody's getting their tablets, and there's this guy. I don't know if you've ever seen Police Squad. Have you ever seen the TV show Police Squad with Leslie Nielsen? It was like the inspiration for the movies. This guy was in it, and he was like a shoe buffer, and he gave like tips to Drebin. No, but I always thought it was a bit weird that it's like he's taking like communion.
Okay.
I just think he's a weird character, anyways.
Yeah, and then but there's later on in the movie. They say, I think Nurse Ratched is like, oh yeah, you've been given your medication to the other guy, and I was like, how is that possible? He clearly always has it done this way because it isn't creepy at all. So plot hole number 1. Clearly,
there's a tally. That means there's a lot.
Well, I'm only counting them as I go. I don't even have one in mind, but this is the main one. And then we have our introduction into Jack Nicholson. He comes out of a car. And he gets brought in as a thick. Have you taken the hat off because now you kind of look like him? Got the little beanie down.
But, you know what's? I get just a small bit of knowledge. The extras, like not when he when he takes the handcuffs off and he starts going woo and kissing everyone. He wasn't supposed to do that. Like that's obviously a take that was like messed up that they just put in the movie.
I feel like there's a lot of it improvised.
Yeah, a lot
absolutely.
of like, they were told not to talk to Jack Nicholson while he was doing this because the whole scene.
Don't look at the nickels.
Yeah, but he was supposed to walk in with the lads with the two. What are they called? The
police officers.
Yeah. No, the two not so white guys.
Oh, these guys?
Wardens,
no, they're white guys. One guy has a cigar in his mouth. That's white. That's white as heck.
But they were told not to talk to Jack. They were told it was a very serious scene where he walks in and sees and he's looking around and he gets a final look. But when he starts dancing when he walks in, that was just Jack trying to fuck with. Because he did it on the set the whole time. He tried to fuck with all the people.
That actually makes a lot of sense. There's a part later where he I think it's when he's coming in and Nurse Ratched does a little bit of a laugh and you can see her hiding it. So that's what I'm saying. Like they looked like they had a really good time playing it, and there was a lot of ad-libbing because that's how you get a movie. I will say this good, though I have a lot of bones to pick with it, just thematically and shit like that. But that's how you get a caliber of movie this well known, is because you get a room full of actors like that and just go kind of do what you want. I imagine that they weren't necessarily said, okay, Danny DeVito, you're Martini, you kind of squint your eyes and you're a little bit weird, and you Harding, you're this guy, and like I imagine they all came up with that character themselves, or I get that impression, like Jack Nicholson came up with that kind of a character. It wasn't written like that, but he.
I think Jack Nicholson was just being Jack Nicholson, like he's like I don't think he was like thought about it too much, and like even in the interview I heard him talk about it, he was like, they were like, did you do any method acting for it? And he said, no, I just had a lot of alcohol. I was like,
the 70s. I wish actors went back to that.
But like Jack Nicholson, but that's back then where you could do that, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. There was no method acting to it. That's just how good the actors these guys were. Mm-hmm. They could just do that. Like, I'm not saying Danny DeVito or Christopher Lloyd didn't do any like method acting, but like for Jack anyway, well, as he said, that was just he went on set and just did it that way. Like,
Yeah,
which I think
absolutely.
but I think if there was method behind, like I'm not a big method actor and that, like if you're into that, great. But I think the fact that for me it seems better the fact that he didn't go all method. He just was fucking himself, because there was moments in the movie where it showed that he was completely fucking normal, like totally normal, and then there's moments like he says it himself, like, what are you in here for? I guess I drink and fuck too much. You know what I mean? That's just a normal person.
And he goes, in the work farm? And he goes, no, I thought you meant something else. But so there's not a lot of cinematography in this film. Like there's not a lot of moments that you go, wow, that's really shot really well. Except for this one. I love this one. Where they're looking up the banisters and everybody's kind of looking down at them. That feels like really claustrophobic. And then you get the ridiculous moment afterwards where Jack Nicholson goes, hey! So it's like kissing him.
And stuff, yeah.
And then he gets brought into the ward with everybody else. And I love everybody's wearing those little dicky bows. Isn't that cool? I like those little dicky bows. They look like they're about to burst out into like a cappella.
Or the barbershop
Hello,
quartet.
my lady. Hello, my darling.
The movie literally starts in the second that, like, when he walks from when the scene turns and all of a sudden it cuts to Jack Nicholson, two lads walking in. Like normally there's a load of like no talking, there's a load of setting a scene, and it's just Jack walking in. He just starts walking around. He starts looking at everyone. Obviously, he walks up to the chief and starts talking, and the scene immediately fucking starts. That's what I love about it. Just there's no waiting around. And then it like introduce the character straight away, because then your man says, there's no point in talking to him. He's deaf. He's dumb. He's in dumb Indian or something. And
so that's pretty much, he goes up to, like, the first person he goes up to is the chief. And he goes, "God damn, boy, you're about as big as a mountain." I can't do a Jack Nicholson impression. That was my best one. Hey, boy, that's a big mountain you got there. No, that's like more Clint Eastwood. I feel like I'm butchering a Jack Nicholson. Hey, sweetheart. Oh, no, wait, that's the other guy as well. So, yeah, we get then the introduction of, what's his name again? The guy from Deadwood? Billy? Billy.
Brad Dourif.
That's it. And, he basically sets up that scene. And that's a cool running thread throughout the whole entire film. And that's what I like about this film as well. It has a lot of setup plots. And they're not too thick. They're not even thin. They're meaty enough that you're like, oh yeah, that's cool. I like that character paid off. Or that was a nice little moment for that character. I don't need to know why necessarily they're all in there. It's just a kind of, it's a nice character, what would you call it? Character study on how characters are actually developed. So Jack Nicholson walks over, or McMurphy, walks over to the table, and basically, what are they playing, like pinochle?
They're playing Go Fish.
Go Fish. I don't even know what pinochle is. It sounds like peanut butter.
Yes.
Peanut butter? And apparently, Jack is so amazing. This is where I think, like, you think he's going around, walking around everybody's cards. Is that it?
Yeah, he's looking at the cards, and he starts like flicking his own cards.
Yeah. And he shows the nudie lady. Do you like that? And then Danny DeVito was like, yeah, love them naked ladies. All the way before internet porn.
But that's even before internet porn. Yeah, that was brilliant. It was like, but the fact that he's like walking around, he doesn't know these people, and he's talking to us, and all of a sudden he just puts his hand down and moves your man's cards up.
I love it.
It's interactive. Like, he doesn't know these lads, and this I'm saying, like, this is why I love it, because the movie never, for me, I obviously know Derry got bored, and I don't know your opinions, but I love the fact that from the second he walks in, there's something happened. There's no lull, for me anyway. I just thought he goes over, talks to Chief. Billy talks to him. He comes straight over to Billy and connects with lads. Starts talking to lads, and there's a scene happens, and it just goes in then to him talking to Dr. Spivey. I just think the movie's brilliant. I think everything that fucking happens in it is great.
Well, if we think about it, like the fact that he's been in prison so many times, that's what you have to do. You literally go up to the biggest guy there is. You fucking say some shit about him, and then you sweep in like you own the place, and that's what he's doing. He's like this prisoner mentality, And we all know why that is, which we're getting to. So he ends up in the doctor's office, and it's Dr. Spivvy. Isn't a spiv like someone like an idiot?
I don't know.
Is that more of an English?
I don't know.
Is that
Well,
English?
if you don't know, you're probably called it, guys. Come on.
Is it English slang though?
I think or maybe it is. Maybe it is. I'm getting my American and English mixed up. I don't know. So I love this. I feel like this guy is not an actor at all. Contradict me. I don't know. Maybe correct me if I'm wrong. But the doctor in it, this guy, doesn't seem like a genuine or maybe if he is, he feels like a theater actor. Because the way that he reacts to Jack Nicholson during these little interactions, this feels like the most ad-lib part in it.
Yeah.
He's talking about the fish and
on the desk. He was a fly or something, and the guy was like, okay, yeah, but it was very natural. So
it felt kind of out of place a little bit with the rest of the film, because it felt that natural. I was like, wow, that feels like it kind of felt awkward in places, maybe because it just felt like a film, but they sit down and they start talking about a fish.
Your man that played Dr. Spivvy, he was like, what did I read? What was it here? I'll check with it. Right, I have it here. I have it wrote down. He was a superintendent, Brooks, right? He was a superintendent of the Oregon State Hospital for 27 years.
So he was actually not an actor. He was a genuine administrator, dean.
I remember reading that and I was like, Jesus Christ, he was superintendent of the Oregon State Hospital, for 27 years.
I love that. So he's genuinely, he was probably like that. He's so soft-spoken. I love that character.
Well, there's cast in it. There's cast in it that are actually people who were from certain hospitals that they brought in. That were, I don't.
Darren, we're calling them mental institutes.
I know, but I don't. Okay, they were patients.
Hospitals are okay too. Stop being so freaked on PC.
But there were patients at the hospital. Of certain hospitals that were brought in to fill spaces. But they weren't I'll move on. I can't even say it. I'm terrified I'm going to say that wrong now.
Judging you. No, come on, because we're going to get into those hot topics, spicy topics later on.
There was patients from other hospitals, but they filmed in a certain hospital because it wasn't a set. It was actually proper movies that were movies back then were shot in places like fucking prisons and hospitals. And
you can tell that places was used. You can just the way that it looked like, again, like you said, a proper hospital. I love that. And that's what it made. You know what? This film kind of reminded me of a little bit of an indie film that they got an amazing actor in for. That's how kind of rustic, I guess. Can you say that about a film? Is it rustic? Can films be rustic?
It was, yeah. But now, back then it was.
An indie film. It's shot. And again, I think maybe it's just through modern eyes, but to me it looks like it's an indie budget film. It's all set in the same location. It's set in a real hospital. There's no sets. There's unknown actors, and it's ad-libbed. It's fun. It just seems altogether like one of those indie films that you'd have on the intranet. But yeah, again, some of these actors went on to be probably some of the best well-known actors around the world. So we start getting the discussion between the doctor, and I think he's trying to suss out why he has been referred to the hospital effectively. And again, it's this teasing out of okay, I'll just see if he's nuts. I'll see if he is I feel like throughout the whole entire film, it tells you that as soon as you say that you're crazy, they'll be like, no, you're not crazy, get out of here, because he's playing it cool.
Yeah, but he's obviously in jail for a reason where you find that now. And he obviously wants to he's in jail. He obviously was pretending to be fucking nuts to get moved to where he is.
They don't explain why. They don't explain how he did that. It was you were belligerent. You have a lazy attitude, and this feels again very 1970s. It's that's clearly a mental disorder. It's you're lazy. You're dysfunctional in society.
Is he dangerous? Is he dangerous? No.
Yeah.
Or no, he is dangerous. He is fucking dangerous.
Yeah, do you think he's sick? I think he's sick. And I think he's dangerous.
Yeah, but like what I love. Sorry, I shouldn't say that. What I like about the fact is, in movies, when this was made in movies, they don't shy away from stuff they have to talk. Like they talk about why he's where he is because of what he did. Okay, I'm just gonna fucking say it. He had sex with an underage girl, but like that's enough to say. But I had forgot all about what he goes in and fucking says to her man. And like me as a father, like of two girls, I'm like, I was looking at it saying, "Oh my god."
She was 15 years of age. So again, one of those things where my mind blots out from the film.
Yeah.
And if you haven't seen it, we warned you last week. You should watch it. So you should be
It's
equally
fucking
as faux offended as we are over something that literally didn't even happen. But okay, so here you go. Here's my reasoning behind this. Okay, you ready? It's coming.
Yeah.
The reasoning behind it is because the ending is so distressing, and especially at the time when that literally happened, you could be hauled away for being dysfunctional or lazy or whatever. Your family didn't, like, literally we find out Billy later on, his mum put him there effectively. Your family could put you in these places, and predominantly male, because again, I don't know if that was a thing that was made of a point of, but it looks like it's a male dysfunction. These aren't traditional men in this, except for Jack. But
you're also looking at a gendered ward where it would just be men in that ward. There could be female wards elsewhere in the hospital, and likely there is.
But what I'm saying is that it feels like at the time, lobotomies could pretty much happen. There, I said it. I've revealed the end of the movie, but it's, I don't know what, like,
that's not the end of the movie.
50
that's
years
just like
old. Yeah. That's the fun part of the movie. But what I'm saying is that was a reality. So they actually give you a character that's so depraved, so unlikable at the very start. You don't even find this out halfway through the film. It's like, yep, you go. You don't even find this out halfway through the film. Like McMurphy, like a scene with Billy that comes over. It's like, hey, McMurphy, why are you actually here? It's like, oh, I did this thing with a 15-year-old girl or whatever. It's like right at the start. It's like, you're not meant to like this character. He's an asshole. He's not only dysfunctional, but he's actually like
depraved. And
like, are we going to go as far as saying a pedophilic? Like, but it's pretty much that leaning. You're not long off it. So it's hard at the start to take that kind of seriously, and then like the character as a serious protagonist. Awful character to begin with, but ultimately one that you tend to like because of his dysfunctionality. Okay, Derry, tell me, at this moment in the film, you're sitting there, you're watching it. What are you feeling?
This scene, we're still in the scene with the doctor. This is my favorite scene in the whole movie.
Okay, it's really good. Hang on a second. I'm gonna stop you there for a quick second. So before this, you didn't know about this. You knew about the general idea of the film, did you?
I thought I did. I was very wrong.
Okay, so let's go back to what did you think was this film in general was about?
I thought it was more murdery.
Murdery?
Yeah. I was very surprised when I saw the cover for the video or the poster or whatever, and it had that font, that real sort of comedic font, and I was like, that doesn't fit with what I know of the movie at all.
Okay.
So yeah, I should have taken that as my cue first off. So yeah, no, I thought it was a bit more darker, we'll say. Maybe not murdery, but darker.
Okay, because you knew it took place in a mental institute, but you were thinking, okay, maybe it's like a gritty, again, psychological kind of thing.
Most of what I'd heard of it before was Nurse Ratched, and how she was like evil bitch, like bunny boiler type, This is what I had going in. So I assumed there was going to be a lot more tension between Ratched and McMurphy. And that never materialized for me.
Right, and I feel that as well. So going into it, then you see a scene like this where you're thinking, okay, I'm about to feel sympathetic for this Jack Nicholson character, and then you're like,
yeah. put it this way: the first time when he came back and faked his lobotomy, I was like, ah, shit.
Yeah. All right, I'm back.
You're back from the dead.
Yeah, so he came back all zombie-eyed, and I was like, oh, nice one, finally we're getting.
So you didn't like him from this point, or didn't like him from the moment he came in?
At this point, I kind of, I was going with the character at this point.
Okay.
It was later on, he just started really irking me. I really just, he was arrogant.
Did you just say he was irking you?
Yes, that's
my God. Wait,
really just rubbed me up the wrong way the whole movie. And
it's about Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
Oh, Darren. What?
Jack Nicholson, McMurphy.
No,
McMurphy.
It was fucking amazing. Like, his performance was outstanding, but the character.
Well, do you know what? Then that shows how good of an actor he is, because that person should fucking annoy you. That person should worry you.
So, I have the same perspective as Derry in this. At this point, and again, I'm only going from what I remember now. I've seen it a few times before, but at this point I was thinking, oh wow, I can't remember me not liking the character at the time, especially in this scene where I was just like, oh, he's a kind of a kiddly fiddler. And he was like, hey, she was 35, she must have been at least 18. And I was like, whoa, back up there, Jack. Or McMurphy. Slow down. I genuinely forgot this part of the film, and now I'm starting to think, okay, I remember now him being an asshole, and then I was waiting for Nurse Ratched to be like, okay, she's going to be a complete bitch all this film, and I was like, oh no, wait, hang a second, she's being kind of reasonable. I kind of do that myself.
At this point in the movie, I'm still open to him having a redemption arc. And you're rooting for him against Ratched. This is where I'm thinking the whole thing is going. Yeah. You know?
So
I don't even think it was her that was his enemy. I think he was his own worst fucking enemy.
There you go, Darren. I like that.
Yeah. Well, that's just it. I never saw not saying again, like you just said there, not saying that she didn't do a fantastic job. But I never saw her as a villain. I never understood that. Like in fair play for Ryan Murphy to write a whole backstory to her. That's fucking great. But I just never saw her as a villain. I did see her as a reasonable woman until the very end when she does do what she does to a certain character. And then I was like, but it was only that act that she did that I was like, oh, that's kind of fucking shitty. That's awful.
I feel like that was in keeping with the character and the time and her position, thow.
Yeah, I don't think she was the.
Oh no, sorry, Darren.
I just don't think she was as evil a person as fucking everyone's making out. That's just my opinion. I don't particularly think that she was the villain of the movie. I think Jack Nicholson was the fucking villain in the movie.
Well, she had resting bitch face. That's the only bad thing that I can get that. So we get on to the part where the doctor is basically trying to suss Jack out. And this is the part where you were talking about, I'm a goddamn marvel of modern science.
Yeah.
So you kind of get an idea that, okay, he's trying to play these people. He's trying to get in there. I think it's only for a short period. I think he's only gone in there for an evaluation and he thinks he's going to go back to prison afterwards and then be let out effectively. So we then get brought back in, and this is more of a kind of an explanation of the characters themselves, but in a really subtle way. This guy is one of my favorites. I'm awfully tired. I'm tired. And then I feel like this man is going to be me, Mr. Ellsworth. The guy with the mustache. He has the tie. He's the only guy wearing like a tie. He looks like one of the orderlies, and but he's wearing like a black tie. He's like dancing around the place, but it's not even dancing. It's like he's just like tapping, and it's like, ooh, he's so weird. But that's me. I'm going to be that man.
But yeah, he's walking.
Let's pick a character. I'm going to be Mr. Ellsworth. Who are you, Derry?
I'm Chief.
There's only one female character in this.
Anyone not listening to anyone, that's definitely me. Not talking and not listening.
Oh, Mr. Ellsworth.
Chief.
Oh, okay, you be Chief. Okay, Darren.
I'm a little bit of Martini and Harding together. I'm a bit fucking weird and like
If
terrified.
Martini and Harding had a child.
I'm like one of these, and then like, don't fucking touch me. Leave me the fuck alone. Fuck off. Leave me the fuck alone.
I love that. So we then get our like you get the introduction from Nurse Ratched that she is ominous. You know, she comes down the hallway at the start of the introduction, and now we have her introduction during the meeting with all of the patients. Again, I feel like if they wanted me to hate her, this would have been a great point to do that, and it kind of doesn't. I can tell that it's annoying McMurphy, like when that kind of gets introduced, but I don't feel like it's enough for him to fucking absolutely lose his shit. You know, she's just doing her job, basically.
Well, mostly she's just doing her job, like, and she even does. I can't even defend this woman. Like, she does do her job, because twice when they get the vote, she leaves him a vote, and when he only because
she does.
She was like.
She was like, we'll vote again next time as well. She was like, okay, we'll just have to try again tomorrow.
It's just, but as I said to you, the only thing that I really fucking, like, she's just trying to do her fucking job, like, but the only thing that really got me was the very end of it. Like, because that's obviously when I was like, wow, what a cunt.
But I feel like this is written from, like, you know, if you're working in customer service, this is written from, like, the customer's point of view. It's like, why are people so mean to me? It's like, oh no, because, you know, that's just how things are done. I'm sorry. Everybody's treated the same. Like, even, I feel like there's points in it where you want to feel like the characters feel like they're threatened by Nurse Ratched, but they're pretty much free to do what they want. They only really get in trouble when they actually start kicking the shit out of each other, basically.
Yeah.
So we start off with Harding and his wife issues. And
this is my favorite scene of the whole movie. This is my favorite fucking scene. I love this scene. Like, the dialogue in the scene is so brilliantly fucking written. But it's not even written. It's the fucking fact of how they portray, like, Harding especially. And your man is trying to help him out, but he's like, stop. Stop.
That's Cheswick, isn't it?
Oh, it's fucking brilliant. And just your man, what makes me laugh is, like, McMurphy, they just show him just watching this all go down, and he's like, what the fuck is actually happening right now?
He's like the quintessential, like, cigarette packet, like, in his shirt sleeve.
Oh, I saw, what a legend. Right up there, the big square fucking box on his shoulder.
So they're all basically talking about Harding's problem with his wife and why he thinks that she's sleeping with other men effectively.
She's getting, what's the phrase they use? She's getting something gazed upon on the street as they walk down. I can only speculate. Why do you speculate, Harding?
He starts going off on this big fucking tangent, though, and this is where Christopher Lloyd, you just get that brilliant picture of Christopher Lloyd's face. What is it? It's like, in terms of human relations, the juxtaposition, and then he's like rambling on about just absolute nothingness. He's not talking about anything. And yeah, Christopher Lloyd,
he's that kind of guy.
Like that.
But like, we all wish we could do that when someone starts using big fucking words and like thinking they're fucking smart, and just like, stop being a fucking asshole. Stop being a fucking asshole.
Indubitably. Indubitably. So you say that, like, Cheswick starts standing up for Harding, and I think that's when he's like, stop it, just stop standing up for me. Nobody asked you.
I don't want you on my team. And your man keeps. What I love about this is the acting is so good that you can tell they were just acting right up until the point where the director said cut. Because your man's like, even though your man Hardwick is saying stop, your man keeps saying, I'm just trying to help you. You guys don't want to learn anything.
We then get a kind of transition. So we've already had a nice little introduction from, like, each of the characters effectively. At this point, my favorite is what's Scanlan's name? You're the guy with the beard,
Scanlan,
and the glasses. Yeah. I like him.
Yeah, Scanlan's brilliant.
He's like 2 lines in the whole entire film as well. So we're in the yard effectively, and we kind of get an indication of what Jack Nicholson has in mind. Well, what I think that Jack Nicholson had in mind was escape. But then we realize that not really. So we see the bus outside, and this is an indication that he's obviously going to try and steal the bus and escape, right? And escape and leave both prison and the mental institution. But no. And I will get to it later, but I feel like more and more that he actually is a little bit mental. Like he probably needed that lobotomy a little bit, maybe.
Well,
maybe not both of them. Not both of them, just one of them, a little bit.
You find out that he essentially, imagine going into a place and thinking, why am I, because he says it through the whole movie, why, like to Chief, why the fuck are we in here? And turns out that he's the only mental fucker in there.
Well,
like, they're all, yeah. And your man Banzini, but even people like Banzini, the fucking guy who was, I'm so tired. I'm so tired.
Mancini! Come on, Mancini!
Where the shit are you going, Mancini?
I think the most movement that you get out of him is at the end when he's trying to pour himself a drink and he doesn't even get to do that.
Brilliant. It's fucking great.
So he's standing there with the chief, and the chief is looking out basically, and there's a little bit of rubbish that rolls past, and a little tear rolls down his eye.
Oh, of course there is.
Now, can I just say, it's at this point now I started to think, okay, is this where we get the McMurphy redemption arc beginning? Is this where we start to see this arrogant asshole who has done these horrible things? Is this where we start to go, oh, okay, he's getting through to this guy who obviously has issues.
He's a bunny at heart. He's just like a
this kind
bunny.
Of thing. Yeah, you kind of think maybe he's becoming friends with this guy who nobody else has been able to get through to. Mm-hmm. Maybe this is going to be the redemption arc.
Yeah. No.
That's where I am.
Yeah.
Okay. We're seeing where that goes.
Yeah.
So yeah, he has a little bit of a chat with the chief, and then he tries to encourage him to play a little bit of basketball.
A little b-ball.
A b-ball on the side court. I've never played.
Clearly.
Never played basketball.
I am a white man, and I should never. I don't know.
It's a short white man.
I'm also short.
I'll say you're a white man can't jump, Jamie.
No, white man can't jump. Woody Harrelson told us that. I'm glad he did. I didn't even try and attempt.
Woody Harrelson is a black man and white man's skin.
Right? And his dad killed JFK. Who knew? So they teach. Well, it feels like he's trying to teach him how to play ball. So he tells him to lift your hands up, Chief. Lift them up in the air. And one of the orderlies, he's like, again, reiterates the point that, yeah, he cannot hear you, and there's really no point. We've clearly tried this, but, well, no, it feels like they haven't tried it at all, and they got him in and went, hey, this guy can't speak, and they just went, all right. I love the orderlies in this.
Yeah, but, like, what I love about them is, through the whole movie, you're like, they just seem like they want to smack, like, you get the feeling, because there's never dialogue to it, but you get the smack, like, he wants to fucking hit McMurphy, they're like, I want to fucking smack you. But obviously then it does get to the part where he, like, says to him, fucking try it, go on, try it, give me a reason to hit you.
Yeah. But I like their interaction. I like they're not just two-dimensional characters that are just like, oh, these are the guards or whatever, and they don't have too much involvement as well. Like I like how kind of removed they are from the main story, but they're still memorable characters.
I don't think any of the characters in there are two-dimensional. I think anybody who you've seen in this movie, you'll remember. Like even from the orderly.
The assistant nurse.
She's not a character. She goes, ah! And that's about it.
Yeah, exactly. She has no development to her, so...
Just fair enough. That's a bit nitpicky now, come on. Okay. Give the movie some props, Darren.
No, I'm just saying, Darren said everybody has development. I would just say no.
Well, this girl did
that guy in the wheelchair that he turns around and he goes, come on, vote, that guy.
Fuck's sake.
He kind of looks like...
everybody.
We'll come to that guy, but I think he kind of looks like he shot his family up. He kind of looks like that kind of a guy. You know, the guy in the wheelchair? And then we get a creepy picture of the perfectly fine doing her job Nurse Ratched. She's like obviously trying to do her job, looking out the window. Like they don't see. Here's points where I would have liked a typical 1970s zoom in, a really fast zoom in. You know when they have like an establishing shot and then they just zoom in the 70s and it goes right into her face, like really uncomfortably, and you're like, oh, that doesn't happen.
That would have made her really. That would have like made her a villain in it. When I don't think they were
she
trying
was
to
meant
make
to be.
I don't know. I don't think I think they were trying to obviously make her the villain because she is the villain of it, like clearly. But I mean, you can get your own interpretations with that. But I mean, I think they would have done it if they had done that big zoom shot in. As cool as it would have been, I think it would have done it too early.
No, because like this is the part because during the meeting she was meant to be the bitch then. She was meant to be like I feel like she was like goading Harding, but it was like, oh, why do you think your wife didn't meet your mental challenge? But I genuinely think that was a good thing to say because he does look a bit up himself, Harding. It's not like she was trying to put him down by saying
fancy words.
People can't live up to your expectations. You know, these kind of things. She didn't go down the route of taking jobs. So, but it's in the cultural lexicon of Nurse Ratched being an absolute bitch, like comparable to Kathy Bates.
Yeah,
I feel.
Okay, you know what? Look, I didn't find her that much. Of course, I probably didn't look too far into it now.
No, but that's what I'm saying, Darren, is that we agree, I think we all agree, that she doesn't come off as this evil serpentine woman, but that's the way the film wants you to see her. And I feel like that's the way during the 70s, that's the way she was meant to be seen.
I wonder, is it a carryover from the book?
That's what I'm thinking. That's exactly what I'm thinking. Because the book, she's...
across in the movie alone.
Yeah. But did you read the book?
She got an Oscar for this. She got it. Do you say she got an Oscar?
I don't understand that either.
Yeah, but
to be honest.
No, great character. But I feel like the point that they were trying to go for, it was lost. She has resting bitch face.
Yeah,
that's her
it.
job.
She won an Oscar for resting bitch face.
I hate you. She gets strangled. She legitimately had a reason to be angry. So
what I think was the fact that the movie was so good as a whole, and obviously she was up for it because they picked, like I'd say, because Jack Nicholson must have been up for. Was he up for Best Actor for this movie?
But like Taxi Driver those Oscars as well.
Well, I'm going to take a little critic's bathroom break, and I'll be back in a minute. I mean, a huge critic, massive.
Look, do I think she should have won an Oscar for this? Maybe not. Like she done a lot of other stuff that was pretty good, but then again, I'm not a massive fan of her work. Like I would have said Jack Nicholson. I wouldn't even say Jack Nicholson deserved an Oscar for this because that would have been just too fucking. I don't know. I don't think.
I agree. I think Jack Nicholson's performance is really good, and I really enjoyed his performance.
Yeah.
Like I didn't enjoy the character or the movie, but I can definitely appreciate his performance in it.
Yeah.
For her, she was really, really good, and she played the part really well, and she was like the straight character in it. But I don't think there was anything amazing about her performance that was like Oscar standout worthy. Like,
yeah, but Jerry, listen. To be honest, what the Oscars I never thought the Oscars since Sidney Poitier fucking won an Oscar. I don't think they've been up to standard now. They've picked some. Look, let's just say what we're thinking. The fact that Leonardo DiCaprio took that fucking long. And he got an Oscar on that.
It for Revenant, of all things.
He didn't deserve it for the thing he got it from, and he should have gotten it years ago.
Yeah.
It's a runner-up award. It's like, we found this in the back, Leo.
It's an overdue. Al Pacino got an overdue Oscar as well. Like, you know.
They gave it to him
Whatever.
just because if we don't, because it was becoming a thing, it was becoming a meme, it was becoming all over the internet. If he doesn't get it now, we're gonna fucking riot. But no one would have rioted. Like, he deserved the fucking Oscar. Like, Daniel.
Yeah, but I don't think any movie that I've even heard about in the last 10 years deserves an Oscar. Full stop. But that's just me.
Leonardo DiCaprio deserved a fucking Oscar for 90% of his movies. He's a fucking outstanding actor.
Wolf of Wall Street, he deserved it for, but like even he should have been nominated for it in that.
Well, what's Eating Gilbert Grape?
Basketball Diaries, like him as a young actor, he was outstanding. But anyway, we digress.
Yes,
we're talking about Leonardo DiCaprio instead of talking about the tired guy. I'm so tired. I'm so tired.